Hello, back again to do another unboxing and review. Today we're going to continue my series on BeyBlade Burst by looking at two new tops. These are Gen 4 tops, and they are also Slingshot. Alright, so I have two characters here. On the left we have the Forneus F4, and on the right we have the Luinor L4. Correction if I mispronounce those names. Okay, so we'll go ahead and look around the box on each one of these and also take the opportunity to see the posted specs on the back. So you can see here we get the three components of the top, of course, the ripcord's there behind, and there is the new launcher, left and right spin launcher. Okay, now on the back we can go ahead and see the stats now. Alright, there we go. So you can see we have an attack of 0, burst 2, defense 10. So that's maxed. Okay, and weight is 9, agility 0, stamina 2. So if you can guess, this is definitely a defense type top. Now we go down here. This is the Slingshot rating. This is only applicable if you are using a Slingshot arena. So you can see it's a power of 1 and a 5 for the speed. Alright, and then here. Okay, and this, as we already know, is a defensive type. And this right here is a right spin top. Okay, let's go ahead and go over to the Luinor L4. Alright, so Luinor L4, it's an attack type. There it is. Of course, we'll look at it in depth when I get it outside the box. But yeah, again, all pieces included, launcher, ripcord, and top parts. Alright, now for the specs. Attack 6, burst 4, defense 0, weight 4, agility 9, and stamina 1. And if you have a Slingshot arena, you can take advantage of the power of 2 and speed rating of 4. Alright, there are the components, and now notice that. Yes, this is a left spin top. So far this is the only left spin top I've seen for the Slingshot series, or I guess you could say 4th gen burst tops. So, alright. Well, at this point, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I'm going to open up the Forneus F4 first. Instructions. Ripcord. See how bent it is. Alright, I guess that's to be expected. Not too bad. We only have like one major bend in it, so that should be alright. Okay. Taking out the tray. Alright. As usual, they're held in with these little, like, elastic and somewhat springy little tie downs. So we're just going to cut those. The launchers are the same, so I'm just going to cut up the top right now. So, alright, let's go ahead and look at the energy layer first. Okay, so it looks like the theme here is like a bone shark type idea. Let's say it's actually pretty cool looking. So this is, after all, though, a defensive type, so it does have some hooks, but overall they're pretty contained. They don't protrude that much. Alright, and on the back we have the QR code. As far as anything movable on the top, nope, everything is fixed. Okay, let's go to the forge disc. And of course it's metal. Alright, so yeah. Again, defensive type, so it's just overall a circle. Some minor hooks here, but nothing too aggressive. And the bottom, there you go. And let's get to the performance tip. So here it is. You can see it has quite a wide ring or shield here on the bottom. I'll give you an idea of how big that is. Yeah, look at that. Alright. And the actual tip, yes, it's actually it's like a bearing. It feels and sounds to be plastic, but it is a bearing nonetheless. So it's not so much of a tip, more like a ball. And so I think we can all understand the advantage of having that. It's going to be real hard to tip this over because, yeah, it's a ball, not a point. All right, so let's just put it together real quick here. Okay, there we go. All right, now let's go over to our Luinor L4. Instructions, once again, same style ripcord, and the launcher is the same as well as before. Actually, on this one, let me go ahead and bring out the launcher in case you haven't seen the new launchers. So here's the launcher. Right, left. Okay, now to the top. Tip. Forge disc. And getting out the energy layer somehow. Okay, there we go. So starting with the energy layer for our Luinor L4. I like that. Kind of reminds me of like a crocodile or something under the water right before it leaps out and attacks its prey. And, well, you can tell this is an attack type. These wings are quite pronounced, and you get 4 of them. Also notice that they do come up quite high. Instead of just going straight out, they come up and at an angle. Every one of them. And then also, if you look closely, there's the white part of the wing, but then there's also this little purple part that actually does stick out a little, so you do get some attack off to the direct side as well. And okay, as far as movable, yeah, nothing on here moves, and again, QR code. Okay, now to the forge disc. Yeah, alright. Interesting enough, it's actually somewhat similar to our Forneus F4. So F4 over here, if you look over here, you can see they kind of course this one's more aggressive. It's an attack type after all, but you can kind of see how they have the same kind of theme going. It's just this one's more exaggerated. Anyway, so yeah, you can see there's obvious, these 2 points especially have quite a bit of protrusions, and they have 3, and this one just has 1, but it is pretty pronounced. So, alright. And yeah, you'd expect that from attack type. Okay, now let's go to the performance tip. So there's the tip. As you would expect, it's wide. Now I was trying to see if it did anything, like spring action or anything like that. And so the tip. Yeah, okay. So this material is a little softer than the plastic over here. So the purple bit is evidently made out of a different material. Maybe it's a little softer to get more like a tire-like grip, would be my guess. I was wondering if you look closely here, we have this little portion. We can see the whole thing kind of comes up like a tornado. And I was wondering if these did anything special, but I don't think they do. They're just there. I was wondering if they moved or slid or anything like that, but they don't. So anyway, so it looks like we just have a wide tip with somewhat, not super rubbery, but a little more textured than this material. So wide in grip, I guess, is the deal here. Alright, let's put it together. Okay, so yeah, alright, there we go. So that's what it looks like together. Definitely has that tornado theme going. Now, one thing I'm wondering, though, is you can probably hear it. This thing is moving around a lot. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, I went ahead and put it together a couple more times just to make sure. If you notice, this forge disc here moves around quite a bit. And look at that. Look at all that play. I don't know if that's supposed to do that or not. It almost looks like the thing isn't pushed together right. See, I don't know if it's coming up. You see that gap there between that and that? And yes, the forge disc is on the right way. It's not upside down. Because, well, that'd be hard to do. And you'd have those big tabs sticking down, which would be a huge hint you put it together wrong. So this is put together correctly. It just seems wobbly. I don't know. That might be a tactic. Maybe it deflects blows better or something. But, yeah. Okay, well, we'll have to see. But as far as it looks, I like the look. It does look like a, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like something like a Blizzard from like Dairy Queen. The colors and everything, you know. Okay, but whatever. Okay, let's go ahead and get these side by side. Okay, so there you have it. I'll get my fingers out of the way here as much as I can. So, yep. Okay, so as you can see here, I went ahead and got out the Rail Rush Bay Stadium, and we're going to go ahead and before we get to the battle, I'm going to test the movement pattern of each one of these tops. I wanted to show you about loading. Now, I know this seems like a no-brainer, but I noticed on these tops especially, you really got to lock them in place. A lot of the other tops, you can just put them in there, give them that real light twist, and then go ahead and they'll hang in. If you try that with these, this is what will happen. So if I just did the normal, I'll put the launcher in and just give it a light twist, and well, yeah, nothing. So with these, at least, what you gotta do is you gotta put it in, and then depending on if it's left spin or right spin top, this one's a right spin, so I got that loaded correctly. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it in, and then for the right spin, you're gonna go ahead and turn it counterclockwise. You should hear it click. See, now it's locked, and now it won't fall out until, well, you want it to. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's go ahead. This is Forneus F4. I'm just going to drop them straight into the main dish here, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so pretty conservative pattern. Of course, remember, this is a defense type, so what's just for, I'm going to go ahead and drop them in the speed well and see how, or the speed cradle, and see how that works. If you might have heard that there was that little click, that was me locking this thing in place, the top in the launcher. Okay, so we're going to drop them in the speed cradle and see what happens here. Alright, I actually ended up putting them in the rail, but okay, you can see he comes out, does what he has to get out into the main dish, and then does a defensive type thing. Basically just sits there and spins. Okay, now let's go to our left spinning top, the Luinor L4, and I'm going to have to do the twisty thing probably with this one as well. Of course, the opposite direction, because it is a left spin top, remember. So, alright, this is an attack type, so we're going to drop it again straight in the center and see what happens. Okay. So pretty much what I expected. So, alright, now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to our battle here. Okay, here we go. Alright, so Forneus F4. Alright, so Forneus F4 with the Outlast. That's worth a point. Alright, so round two. Alright, once again with the Survivor finish. So 2 points here, 0 so far. Okay, so we're ready for round 3. Alright, so I think it's pretty clear. We have a very strong defense type, so once he gets the center position, he can just basically outlast our more aggressive, more movable, more agile attack type here. So one other thing I want to mention about this particular top, the wings. Since the wings come up so high, let me just kind of load this in here. Okay, you can see that because the wings come up so high, when you grab the launcher, you got to make sure that your fingers are basically above this little line here. Otherwise, you accidentally end up touching the wings, and that obviously messes up your launch. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay.